Hello everybody, today we have a new video from Oldtimer. This S1000RR has won now the first position in 3 different competitions. We have spent almost 6 months building it and a month of that is in paint. Please watch the video and see what we have done to reach this stage. We're going to go through the modifications one by one. There are 4 categories we're going to talk about: performance, ergonomics, styling, and protection. This bike is already packing 200 horsepower. However, we did some modifications that will give better handling and better response on the throttle. The first thing is an akrapovic exhaust system. So we went with a titanium header and we went with a GP slip-on. The second part was the rotobox rims and the rotobox sprocket. It's an aluminum sprocket, it's much lighter. The rims themselves are the bullet rims from rotobox, which are lighter than the original carbon wheels of the BMW. Whenever you drop the weight on the drivetrain, you get better response, you get better handling. We also added an air filter, and on top of that, just to fine-tune everything, we did a stage 1 brentune on this bike. So it is optimized for the changes we have done. The final part of performance were the wings. Everybody looks at the bike and they would think this is an M1000RR. It is not, this is an S1000RR. We have got the wings from ilmberger, who are the people who builds it for BMW. These will give great downforce on high speeds. So this was a styling option plus a performance option. The final part was some samco hoses, so we changed everything to samco. It will give better cooling, and again, it looks much better on the bike. First of all, with ergonomics, we went with the bonamici racing rear sets. This gives the rider an ability to have different setups depending on his height and his seating position. Second, we went with the bonamici racing brake and clutch lever. These are more adjustable than the original ones, and they look much better. We used the luimoto seat, and we had a gel insert in. This seat is extremely uncomfortable coming from the factory, so it has to be changed somehow. We removed the original cover of that seat, we removed all the foam and we put gel instead, and then we covered it with the luimoto cover. Finally, in ergonomics, we changed the windshield. The original windshield is very short and it is very annoying on long rides. So we put the fullsix carbon windshield. It looks way better than the original one. And it has a shape that is aerodynamic, so it will not affect your performance at all, but it will shield you from the wind. Next category is protection. Of course, this is an extremely expensive bike, especially with all these modifications on it, so we had to add some items for protection. First thing, of course, are the frame sliders. We went with the Gilles tooling frame sliders. They have a spring inside the frame slider, which allows to absorb the initial impact. We have seen on the old S1000RR that a lot of the frames are breaking, they are bending, the screw is bending because the initial impact is so strong, it goes from the slider directly into the frame. With the Gilles tooling frame slider, there's an extremely strong spring inside the frame slider, and when it compresses, it absorbs the first energy and then it allows the bike to slide. The other thing we also put from Gilles are the fork and the swing arm sliders. Again, for protection, we went with the bonamici racing TFT screen protector. This is an extremely expensive piece of kit. It's around $3,000. A small fall to the side, the screen is hit from the side, that's gone. So it's an aluminum cover that covers the entire screen, and at the same time, it covers it with an acrylic sheet from the front to avoid any scratches to the screen. We used the RNG oil and radiator card. These are very exposed and any small stone here or there can chip them. So this is covered from RNG. Finally, for engine protection, we have used the ilmberger carbon engine covers. So these are great protection, and at the same time they look extremely well, especially when you use so much carbon on the bike. On styling, keep in mind anything we've put on this bike, styling was a priority for us. So even all the performance parts we talked about, all the protection parts, styling was very important for us because as you can see, this bike looks stunning. The first impression you get of the styling, of course, is the paint job. These are not stickers, this is airbrushed on the bike. It took a month of work to do this bike. The whole idea was one side to be in blue, the other side to be in red with accents of the opposite color. So you will see the rear sets on one side it's red, on the other side it's blue. The pro bolts are on one side red, the other side blue, and so on and so forth. The first thing you notice about this bike again is carbon. Everything that was black plastic has been changed to carbon, and some other parts that are not even plastic has been changed to carbon. We also painted over dark carbon to go with the entire style. Everything from frame covers, the chain protectors, the tail section, the front windshield. Again, for styling, and one of the most beautiful things on this bike is the rizoma mirrors. This is called the rizoma stealth mirrors. They remove those ugly, bulky original mirrors that come with indicators. They do provide you with some downforce, so they do have performance effect, but at the same time, they look stunning on this bike. These mirrors can be closed when you're on the track or you're racing, and can be opened when you're on the road. At the same time, once you remove the original mirrors, the indicators had to be replaced. So we used the unit indicators, which comes on the front. They're very concealed. You cannot see them. Only when they're on, they're extremely bright. Plus, we used emblem lights. So these emblem lights will come on when you turn on the bike, and at the same time, they will be indicators when you give an indicator for the people on your left or your right to see the indicator. Next, on styling, we went with bolts. So we changed every single bolt we can change with Pro Bolt titanium bolts. Again, we used different colors. We used one side with red bolts, the other side with blue bolt. Anything that we can change from these bolts have been changed, including the windshield, parts of the frame, pinch bolts, brake caliper ports, engine bolts. Whatever is possible to change has been changed. Next, we installed the bonamici racing chain adjusters. They will give us more ability to adjust the chain length and also adjust the look of the bike. Additionally, we added a few covers here and there also to change the silver look. So the fuel cap has changed into Spider Racing black fuel cap with a blue opening handle, and we put the TWM engine timing cover. From there, we went into the tail. The tail section had a lot of work. Of course, you can see this is the full tail section from ilmberger, but we added the TST lights. This is one of the nicest lights we have seen on the RR. These lights are position lights, indicators, and brake lights. And we moved the number plate into the lower position. This gives a very clean look for the bike from behind. We also got rid of the pillion pegs and we put the Gilles tooling blockoff adapters just to cover those two holes that used to hold the pillion pegs. This is what we have done to this S1000RR. Again, this is not an M, it's an S. The wings will confuse you sometimes, but it is an S. However, we will be talking about an M1000RR that has similar modifications and some differences, just to show you what we've done with both. So stay tuned for that.